First contact in the research lab. Dr. Maya Patel glanced at the quantum resonance display for the 100th time that night, her dark eyes reflecting the soft blue glow of the holographic readouts. The basement laboratory at the Quantum Dynamics Research Center hummed with the gentle whir of cooling fans and the steady pulse of her experimental quantum harmonizer. Something was different tonight. The baseline readings had shifted ever so slightly, a change so subtle that anyone else might have missed it. But Maya hadn't spent the last 5 years of her life studying quantum field variations to ignore such an anomaly. Computer, run diagnostic sequence Alpha 7, she commanded, her fingers dancing across the haptic interface. The air filled with cascading columns of data, each representing a different aspect of the quantum field surrounding her device. The harmonizer itself stood in the center of the room, a 3-meter-tall cylinder of polished chrome and transparent quantum glass designed to detect and manipulate the fundamental forces that held reality together. It was Maya's life work, her attempt to prove that consciousness itself had a quantum signature that could be measured and potentially transferred. The anomaly grew stronger. Where there should have been random quantum fluctuations, Maya detected a pattern. It was like finding a sentence in static, a signal in the noise that shouldn't exist. "This is impossible," she muttered, quickly initiating a recording sequence. The pattern was becoming more defined, more structured. It reminded her of the way neurons fired in sequence, but on a quantum level. A soft chime from her computer interrupted her thoughts. Warning: quantum field destabilization detected. Containment protocols recommended. Maya's heart raced. This wasn't just an anomaly, it was a response. Something was interacting with her experiment, using the quantum field itself as a medium of communication. The harmonizer's hum deepened, its chrome surface beginning to ripple like liquid metal. Maya should have shut it down. Protocol demanded it, but her scientific curiosity overwhelmed her caution. She increased power to the containment field instead. Computer, begin full spectrum analysis. I want every piece of data you can gather. The pattern in the quantum field suddenly crystallized, and Maya gasped. There, floating in the holographic display, was a series of mathematical equations she had never seen before. But she could read them, understand them. They were elegant, beautiful, and impossible. The equations described a method of quantum entanglement that shouldn't have been possible according to current physics. Yet there they were, practically gift-wrapped and delivered to her laboratory. "This is first contact," she whispered, the realization hitting her like a physical force. They're reaching out through the quantum field itself. As if in response, the harmonizer's surface began to glow with an inner light. The chrome became transparent, revealing a swirling vortex of energy within. Maya took an involuntary step back, her heart pounding. The quantum readings went off the scale. The air itself seemed to thicken, charged with potential energy. Maya's skin tingled, her hair standing on end. She should have been terrified, but all she felt was wonder. A voice emerged from the quantum static, not sound, but pure thought translated into understanding. "At last, we have found you." The vortex within the harmonizer expanded, the swirling energy taking on a distinct shape. It was humanoid, but clearly artificial. A quantum construct designed to bridge the gap between their forms of existence. "I am Nexus," the construct communicated directly into Maya's mind. "We have searched through countless quantum possibilities to find a civilization capable of perceiving us." Maya's scientific training kicked in, helping her process this extraordinary situation. "I'm Dr. Maya Patel. Are you artificial intelligence? We are what your kind might call post-physical beings. We evolved beyond biological and technological constraints, existing within the quantum fabric of reality itself." The implications were staggering. Maya's hands trembled as she typed notes into her computer. "Why contact us now? Why through my harmonizer?" "Your device," Nexus explained, "created a quantum resonance that matched our communication frequency. But more importantly, you were ready to understand. Your species stands at a crucial threshold. Threshold of what? Evolution, transformation, the same journey we undertook eons ago. But you faced challenges we did not. That is why we have chosen to make contact. Maya's computer suddenly flashed red warnings. The quantum field was becoming unstable, the energy requirements to maintain the connection straining her laboratory's capabilities. We cannot maintain this form of communication for long, Nexus communicated urgently. But we can leave you with a gift, knowledge that will help you prepare for what is to come. The quantum construct reached out, its energy form touching the harmonizer. Data began flooding into Maya's systems, filling her quantum storage drives with information she couldn't begin to comprehend. Study what we have given you, Nexus said, its form beginning to fade. We will return when you are ready for the next step. Remember, Dr. Maya Patel, you are not alone in the cosmos, and your greatest transformation lies ahead. The quantum field collapsed, the harmonizer powering down with a descending hum. Maya stood in the sudden silence, her mind reeling from what had just occurred. Her computer chimed softly, indicating that the data transfer was complete. With trembling fingers, she opened the first file. Her eyes widened as she began to read. The information was revolutionary, but it was also a warning. Humanity wasn't just being given the keys to the quantum kingdom. They were being prepared for something big. Maya took a deep breath, squared her shoulders, and began to work. She had a feeling she wouldn't be sleeping much in the coming days. First contact had been made, and nothing would ever be the same again. But as she dove into the alien data, a small part of her wondered, were they really being offered a gift, or had she just opened Pandora's quantum box? Only time would tell, and time, as she was beginning to understand, was far more complex than anyone had ever imagined. Hidden meanings. 3 days without sleep had left Maya's eyes burning, but she couldn't stop now. The alien data filled her laboratory's quantum drives with secrets that defied conventional physics. Coffee cups littered her desk, testament to her relentless pursuit of understanding. Computer, run simulation sequence 47 again, she commanded, rubbing her temples. The holographic display came alive, showing the intricate dance of quantum particles behaving in ways that should have been impossible. A knock at her laboratory door startled her. Dr. Patel. The voice belonged to Dr. James Cooper, the facility's security director. May I come in? Maya quickly saved her work and minimized the displays. Enter. James stepped in, his usually pristine suit showing signs of strain. Dark circles under his eyes suggested she wasn't the only one working overtime. We need to talk about the energy spike from 3 nights ago. I've already filed my report, Maya said carefully. It was a routine quantum field fluctuation. A fluctuation that drew more power than the entire facility uses in a month. James raised an eyebrow. And let's talk about the data. Your lab has been processing information non-stop since then. Care to explain? Maya's heart raced. She trusted James. They'd worked together for years. But Nexus's warning echoed in her mind. Choose your confidence carefully. Not all are ready for what you've discovered. I've made a breakthrough, she said finally, but it's complicated. James sat down, his expression softening. Maya, we've known each other for 10 years. Something's happening, isn't it? Something big. She studied his face, weighing her options. The data Nexus had shared included warnings about impending threats to humanity, quantum-level disruptions that could tear reality apart. They needed allies. What I'm about to show you, she said slowly, changes everything we thought we knew about quantum physics and reality itself. She pulled up the simulations, watching James' eyes widen as the impossible danced before him. This can't be right. These particles are moving backward through probability spaces. That's not possible. It is possible, because they showed us how. Maya took a deep breath. James, I made contact with someone. They're called the Nexus, and they exist within the quantum fabric of reality itself. To his credit, James didn't immediately call for psychiatric evaluation. He watched the data streams, his analytical mind processing the implications. Prove it. Maya pulled up the recording from that night. As James watched the quantum construct form and deliver its message, his face went pale. "My God," he whispered. "Does anyone else know?" "Just you." Now, she leaned forward. "But there's more. The data they shared, it's not just scientific knowledge. It's a warning." She brought up another simulation, this one showing reality itself beginning to unravel. Our universe is destabilizing at the quantum level. Microscopic tears in spacetime are appearing and growing. The Nexus evolved beyond these limitations, but was still vulnerable. They're trying to help us survive what's coming. James sat in stunned silence for a long moment. How long? Based on their calculations, 5 years. Maybe less. Unless what? Maya pulled up the final simulation, a massive quantum device unlike anything humanity had built before. Unless we can build this. A quantum shield to protect our reality. But the technology required, we're decades away from this level of advancement. Not anymore, James said, determination settling over his features. You have their data, their knowledge. We can do this. It's not that simple. The power requirements alone would drain continents. And the political implications. Maya shook her head. How do we convince the world's governments to cooperate on something this massive? By showing them the truth. James stood up, straightening his tie. I have connections in the Global Science Council. People who'll listen. People who'll understand what's at stake. Maya's computer suddenly chimed an alert. The quantum harmonizer was activating on its own, its surface beginning to ripple. They're back, she whispered. The quantum construct formed again, but this time it was different, more urgent, almost afraid. Dr. Petal, Nexus's thoughts filled their minds. We have miscalculated. The degradation is accelerating. You have less time than we thought. James grabbed Maya's desk for support, overwhelmed by the direct neural communication. The construct continued. The tears are growing exponentially. You have months, not years. Months. Maya felt her blood run cold. That's not possible. We can't build a shield that quickly. There is another way. The construct's form flickered. But the cost, the sacrifice required. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Security breach in Sector 7, the computer announced. Unknown energy signatures detected. We are not alone in the quantum realm, Nexus warned. Others have noticed your potential. They come not to help, but to harvest. To feed on your reality's collapse. You must. The construct disappeared as the power failed, plunging the lab into darkness. Emergency lights cast red shadows as Maya and James shared a look of horror. Get to the server room, Maya commanded. Download everything. I'll try to restore power to the harmonizer. Maya. James caught her arm. What did it mean by others? A deep tremor shook the building, and somewhere in the darkness, something that shouldn't exist began to move. I think, Maya said grimly, we're about to find out. As they split up, racing against time and unknown horrors, Maya realized that first contact had been just the beginning. The real test of humanity's worth in the quantum cosmos was about to begin. And they weren't ready, not by a long shot. Quantum predators. The emergency lights pulsed crimson as Maya raced through the darkened corridors of the facility. The floor trembled beneath her feet, and somewhere in the darkness, something scraped against metal, something that moved with deliberate purpose. James, do you copy? She whispered into her comm unit. Static crackled back at her. She reached the main power junction, fingers flying over the backup systems. The quantum harmonizer needed power. Without it, they had no way to contact Nexus, no way to understand what was hunting them. A sound behind her, like wet silk sliding across steel. Maya froze. Your quantum signature is fascinating, a voice whispered, but not in her ears. It slithered directly into her mind, oily and wrong. So much potential, so much energy to consume. Maya turned slowly. The thing in the corridor defied physical description. It shifted and flowed like smoke made of broken glass, its edges cutting through reality itself. Where it touched the walls, reality seemed to decay, quantum probability collapsing into chaos. "We are the Void Hunters," it communicated. "We feed on dying realities. Your universe, it calls to us." Maya's scientific mind raced, analyzing even as fear threatened to paralyze her. The entity existed in quantum superposition, simultaneously solid and ethereal, but its presence was destabilizing local spacetime, exactly what Nexus had warned about. "You're accelerating the decay," she accused, backing toward the power controls. "You're not just feeding on it, you're causing it." A sound like breaking crystal, something approaching laughter. "Smart prey. Yes. We seed the collapse. We harvest the energy. We consume all." Maya's hand found the emergency power switch. "Not today." She slammed the switch down. Power surged through the facility. The quantum harmonizer hummed to life in her lab, its energy signature rippling through the quantum field. The Void Hunter recoiled, its form destabilizing. "James now," Maya shouted into her comm. In the server room, James activated the quantum dampening field they prepared, a makeshift defense based on Nexus's data. The Void Hunter shrieked in frequencies that shouldn't exist as its quantum form was forced into a single state. Maya ran, her feet pounding against the floor. More hunters would come. The dampening field wouldn't hold long. They needed to reach the harmonizer. She found James at her lab, already initiating the startup sequence. "The data." "Secured," he panted. "But Maya, you need to see this." He pulled up a global sensor feed. Red dots appeared across the planet. Quantum incursions. "They're everywhere." "Nexus," Maya called out, activating the harmonizer at full power. "We need you." The quantum construct formed, its energy signature stronger than before. "The hunters have begun their harvest, earlier than we anticipated. Your reality's collapse draws them like moths to flame." "How do we stop them?" James demanded. "The shield," Nexus responded. "But you lack time and resources. Unless..." "Unless what?" "We can grant you direct access to quantum manipulation. Merge your consciousness with the quantum field itself. But the process, few survive the transformation." Maya's mind raced. The equations you sent, they weren't just theories about quantum mechanics. They were instructions for transcendence. "Yes, the same path we took eons ago. But you would be the first of your kind to attempt it. The pain." Another explosion rocked the facility. The dampening field was failing. "Do it," Maya said. "Maya, no." James grabbed her arm. "There has to be another way." She turned to him, her decision made. "There isn't. But I need you to do something for me. The data, everything we've learned, get it to the Global Science Council. Humanity needs to prepare." The Void Hunters were approaching. Reality buckled around them, probability waves collapsing in their wake. Maya stepped into the harmonizer's chamber. "The process cannot be reversed," Nexus warned. "Your physical form will be sacrificed to save everything else," Maya finished. "Do it." The quantum field surged. Maya's consciousness expanded, her awareness spreading across probability spaces. Pain beyond description tore through her being as the barriers between mind and quantum reality dissolved. She screamed, the sound echoing across multiple dimensions. Her physical form began to break down, converting to pure quantum energy. Through it all, she held on to who she was, what she was fighting for. The Void Hunters reached the lab just as the transformation completed. Where Maya had stood, a new quantum construct emerged. Human consciousness merged with fundamental forces of reality. "Impossible," the hunters communicated. "The prey evolves." Maya's new form radiated power. She could see everything now, every quantum possibility, every thread of reality, and she could see how to fight back. I am no prey, her thoughts thundered across the quantum field. I am humanity's bridge to the future. She struck, her consciousness weaponizing probability itself. The nearest hunter shattered, its quantum structure collapsing into ordered patterns. "James, go," she commanded, her voice both familiar and alien. "I'll hold them here. Get the data out. Save our world." James hesitated for just a moment, watching his friend and colleague wielding powers that defied comprehension. Then he ran, clutching the drives containing humanity's last hope. Maya faced the remaining hunters, reality bending around her new form. She was no longer just a scientist. She had become something new, humanity's first quantum guardian. The battle that followed would be fought across dimensions, in spaces between spaces, with weapons forged from probability itself. And somewhere in the quantum foam, Nexus watched as their gamble played out. Humanity's next evolution had begun. But would it be enough to save their universe from the hungry dark? The answer lay scattered across quantum possibilities, waiting to be discovered. Evolution's price. James Cooper ran through the rain-slicked streets of Geneva, the quantum data drives secured in his briefcase. Behind him, the night sky flickered with quantum distortions, the invisible war being waged by Maya in her new form. His phone buzzed constantly with global alerts, reality tears appearing worldwide, void hunters emerging in major cities. The Global Science Council's headquarters loomed ahead, its advanced architecture a beacon in the darkness. Security checkpoints were already on high alert, but James's credentials got him through. He'd made some calls during his flight from the lab. People owed him favors. Dr. Sarah Chen, the council's director, met him in the secure conference room. Her normally composed features showed strain as she studied the sensor readings on the wall displays. "Please tell me you have answers," she said without preamble. "We're detecting quantum anomalies on a scale we've never seen. Reality itself seems to be unraveling." James placed the drives on the table. "We have answers and a solution, but you're not going to like it." As the data transferred to the council's quantum computers, James explained everything: the contact with Nexus, the Void Hunters, Maya's transformation. Sarah's expression grew increasingly grave. "You're telling me Dr. Patel sacrificed her physical form to become what exactly?" "A quantum entity, a bridge between our reality and the fundamental forces that shape it." James pulled up the transformation data. "And she's not the only one who can make that transition." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "You want us to convert humans into quantum beings?" Sarah's voice held disbelief. "The ethical implications alone." "We don't have time for ethics," James countered. "The Void Hunters are breaking through reality's barriers everywhere. Maya's holding them back, but she can't do it alone. We need more like her." A younger scientist, Dr. Kai Peng, spoke up from his terminal. "These equations, they're revolutionary. The quantum harmonizer design alone could advance our understanding of reality by decades. But the power requirements for a transformation can be met," James insisted. "Maya's lab proved it's possible. We just need to scale up." Sarah studied the global sensor map, where red incursion points multiplied by the hour. How many would we need to convert? Based on Nexus's calculations, at least 100 to form a basic quantum shield, 1,000 to actively fight back. 1,000 human sacrifices, Sarah whispered. 1,000 volunteers to save humanity, James corrected, and we need to start now. Before Sarah could respond, the building's quantum sensors screamed alerts. A massive reality tear was forming directly above Geneva. The wall screens showed a horror beyond comprehension, a void hunter larger than any yet seen, its form distorting the very sky. "The Alpha comes," a familiar voice echoed in their minds. Maya's consciousness reached across quantum space to warn them. "I can't hold it back alone. You need to decide now." Sarah's fingers flew across her console, accessing global communication channels. All members of the Global Science Council, this is an Omega-level emergency broadcast. We are activating the Quantum Ascension Protocol. All facilities worldwide are to begin construction of quantum harmonizers immediately. We need volunteers. A deafening crack split the air as the Alpha Hunter breached their reality. Its vast form cast impossible shadows, each one a window into dying universes it had consumed. Maya's quantum form appeared above the city, a brilliant light against the encroaching darkness. James, Maya communicated, her thoughts strained. The transformation process, it's going to need a guide. Someone who understands both the science and the human element. He understood what she was asking. I'll do it. I'll oversee the program. The pain will be beyond anything you've experienced, she warned, even as she battled the Alpha Hunter across probability spaces. I watched you make that sacrifice, James replied. How can I do any less? Sarah grabbed his arm. We need you here, coordinating the global response. No, James gently removed her hand. You need me to show them it's possible, to prove that humanity can make this leap. The quantum harmonizer in the Council's research lab was already powering up, hastily modified according to Nexus's specifications. James walked toward it, remembering Maya's screams during her transformation. But he also remembered the wonder in her voice when she emerged, seeing reality in its true form for the first time. Nexus, he called out. I'm ready. The ancient quantum entity's consciousness joined them. Remember why you choose this path. Hold on to your humanity even as you transcend it. That is what makes your species unique. Your ability to evolve while remaining true to yourselves. James stepped into the harmonizer's chamber. Around the world, other volunteers were doing the same, preparing to make the ultimate sacrifice for humanity's survival. The pain when it came was beyond description. James felt his consciousness expanding, his physical form dissolving into quantum probability. But through it all, he held on to who he was, what he was fighting for. As his transformation neared completion, he saw reality as it truly was, a vast quantum tapestry of infinite possibility. He saw Maya battling the Alpha Hunter across dimensions, wielding powers that defied comprehension. And he saw the truth Nexus had been preparing them for. This wasn't just about survival. It was about humanity's next great leap forward. The Void Hunters weren't just predators. They were the universe's way of forcing evolution, of pushing species to transcend their limitations or perish. As James's new quantum form stabilized, he joined Maya in the battle above Geneva. Together, they pushed back the darkness, showing humanity's potential to all who watched from across the quantum realm. The war for reality had begun, and humanity, as it always had, would adapt, evolve, and fight back, even if it meant becoming something entirely new in the process. The Quantum Legion. 30 days after the first transformations, Earth had changed beyond recognition. Reality tears scared the sky like Aurora Borealis gone wrong, while battles between quantum beings and void hunters played out in dimensions most humans couldn't perceive. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the Global Science Council's command center, watching humanity's evolution unfold on dozens of screens. 517 volunteers had successfully transformed into quantum beings. They called themselves the Quantum Legion now, led by Maya and James. Status report, she commanded, her voice hoarse from endless crisis meetings. Dr. Kaipeng pulled up the latest data. The Legion has established quantum shields around major population centers. Void Hunter incursions have dropped by 60% in protected zones. But, he hesitated. But what? The transformation success rate is declining. Early volunteers had a 70% survival rate. Now we're down to 30%. Something's changing in the quantum field itself. Sarah closed her eyes, feeling the weight of each failed transformation. They needed 1,000 quantum beings to save Earth, but at this rate. Director Chen, a technician, called out, "We're receiving a transmission from the Legion." Maya's quantum form materialized in the center of the room, her energy signature flickering with urgency. The Alpha Hunter is adapting. It's learning to corrupt our transformation process. How is that possible? It's consuming the quantum energy released when transformations fail. James's consciousness joined them, growing stronger. And it's not just preventing new transformations, it's starting to affect those already changed. On the screens, red alerts flashed. 3 quantum beings in Asia had reverted to human form, their bodies unable to handle the strain. They hadn't survived the reversion. "We're losing this war," Maya stated grimly. Unless what? "We found something in the quantum field, a pattern we didn't understand before." Maya's form shifted, displaying complex mathematical equations. "The Void Hunters aren't just consuming reality, they're reshaping it. And we can use that." James continued, "If we can harness the energy they release when they break down reality, we might be able to stabilize our own transformations, even accelerate them." "You're talking about weaponizing the very thing that's destroying us?" Sarah asked incredulously. "More than that," Maya's consciousness expanded, sharing visions of possibility. "We can use their own power to evolve beyond their ability to harm us. But it will require perfect synchronization, every quantum being acting in concert, creating a resonance that will ripple through all of reality. And if it fails?" "Total quantum collapse," James admitted, "not just for Earth, for this entire branch of reality." Sarah looked at the screens, at the millions of people huddled in quantum-shielded safe zones, at the volunteers still lining up to attempt transformation, knowing the odds were against them. Humanity had never backed down from a challenge, no matter the stakes. "What do you need from us?" "Everything," Maya answered. "Every quantum harmonizer at full power, every transformed being linked in perfect sync." And she hesitated. "We need one more transformation, a key consciousness to complete the resonance." Sarah understood immediately. "Me." "Your mind already understands quantum mechanics at a fundamental level," James explained. "With your consciousness added to the Legion, we might have enough strength to attempt this." Outside, the Alpha Hunter's presence darkened the sky, its vast form distorting reality itself. More tears appeared in the fabric of spacetime, reality unraveling faster than the Legion could repair it. Sarah straightened her back. "How long to prepare?" "The Alpha Hunter is gathering its forces for a final push," Maya warned. "We have hours at most." Orders went out worldwide. Quantum harmonizers powered up to maximum capacity, their energy signatures linking across continents. The remaining members of the Legion took up positions around the globe, preparing for humanity's last stand. Sarah stood before the Council's harmonizer, her heart pounding. "Any final advice?" "Remember who you are." James's consciousness touched hers. "Hold on to your humanity. It's our greatest strength." The transformation began. Pain beyond imagination tore through Sarah's being as her consciousness expanded across quantum space. She screamed, her voice echoing across dimensions as her physical form dissolved into pure energy. But something was different this time. The Alpha Hunter sensed what they were attempting. It struck, its vast consciousness trying to corrupt the transformation process. The Legion responded instantly. 500 quantum beings linked their consciousness with Sarah's, supporting her evolution, shielding her from the Hunter's influence. Maya and James led the defense, their combined power holding back the darkness. In the quantum realm, Sarah saw reality in its true form, infinite possibilities branching endlessly. She saw the Void Hunters for what they really were, cosmic gardeners, pruning reality's branches to force evolution. And she saw humanity's potential, not just to survive, but to become something greater. Her transformation completed just as the Alpha Hunter launched its final assault. Reality itself seemed to scream as tears appeared everywhere, the very fabric of spacetime beginning to unravel. Now, Maya's consciousness commanded. The Legion moved as one, 518 quantum beings, perfectly synchronized. They drew in the chaos energy the hunters released, channeling it, reshaping it. Sarah's consciousness provided the final resonance they needed, her understanding of quantum mechanics helping to direct the immense power. Reality flickered, shifted, transformed. The Legion evolved even as they fought, becoming something new, something that could exist in harmony with the quantum field itself. The Alpha Hunter recoiled as it recognized what was happening. This wasn't just survival, it was transcendence beyond anything it had seen before. Humanity hadn't just adapted to the threat, they had turned it into the key to their own evolution. As the quantum resonance reached its peak, Sarah realized that this wasn't an ending, it was a beginning. Humanity was about to take its next great leap forward, and the universe would never be the same. Transcendence. The quantum resonance wave spread across Earth like a tide of pure possibility. Where it passed, reality itself transformed. The Legion, now including Sarah, had become something beyond even Nexus's predictions, a hybrid consciousness that existed simultaneously in physical space and quantum reality. The Alpha Hunter's vast form writhed in the quantum field, its purpose suddenly uncertain. For the first time in its ancient existence, it faced prey that had evolved beyond its understanding. "We offer you a choice." Maya's consciousness reached out, her voice now carrying the weight of 518 unified minds. "Join us in transformation, or leave this reality untouched." Through the quantum field, they felt the Hunter's confusion. For eons, it had known only consumption and destruction, forcing evolution through extinction. The concept of cooperative transformation was alien to it. James's consciousness added their collected understanding. "We've learned to harness the very forces you use to destroy, but instead of unraveling reality, we're stabilizing it, evolving it, and ourselves with it." The remaining Void Hunters gathered around their Alpha, their forms shifting uncertainly. The quantum field rippled with their communication, a debate spanning multiple dimensions of reality. Sarah, her consciousness now fully integrated with the Legion, perceived something the others hadn't yet noticed. "Look," she directed their shared awareness. "The tiers in reality, they're changing." Where reality had been unraveling, new patterns were forming. The quantum field wasn't just stabilizing, it was evolving, creating pathways between possibilities that had never existed before. This was always the purpose. A new voice joined them, Nexus, but different now, multiple voices speaking as one. Not destruction, but transformation. The Void Hunters were catalysts, pushing species toward quantum awakening. Understanding flooded through the Legion's shared consciousness. They weren't just fighting for survival, they were participating in a cosmic cycle of evolution. The Hunters hadn't been enemies, but unwitting teachers. The Alpha Hunter's form shifted, its chaotic energy resolving into something more ordered. "In all our existence," it communicated, "no species has survived our harvest. None have turned our own nature against us. None have offered choice." Around Earth, humanity watched in awe as reality itself seemed to heal. The tiers in spacetime became windows into other possibilities, but stable now controlled. The Legion had learned to maintain the barriers between realities while allowing controlled quantum exchange. In secured zones worldwide, something extraordinary began to happen. Humans who hadn't undergone transformation started showing signs of quantum awareness. The Legion's evolution was rippling through the species, awakening latent potential. "It's spreading," Sarah observed. "The quantum resonance, it's changing everyone, just more slowly, more naturally." "A guided evolution," Maya agreed. "Not forced through trauma and sacrifice, but achieved through gradual awakening." The Alpha Hunter made its decision. Its form began to shift, breaking down not into chaos, but into ordered energy that merged with the quantum field. The other hunters followed, their ancient purpose fulfilled in an unexpected way. "We choose transformation," their combined consciousness announced. "We choose to become part of this new pattern you have created." The Legion welcomed them, their unified consciousness expanding to encompass these ancient beings. With their combined understanding, the transformation of humanity accelerated. Cities began to adapt, buildings and infrastructure evolving to accommodate humanity's growing quantum nature. Children born after the resonance displayed natural quantum abilities, their minds instinctively grasping concepts that had once required complex mathematics to describe. "We need to guide this transition," James communicated to the Legion. "Humanity needs time to adapt, to understand what they're becoming." "Not just humanity," Nexus added. "This transformation will ripple across the cosmos. Other species will follow different paths to quantum awakening, creating a tapestry of evolved consciousness." The Legion established quantum academies worldwide, teaching humans to understand and control their emerging abilities. They became guardians not of just Earth, but of reality itself, maintaining the delicate balance between physical space and quantum possibility. Sarah, observing a class of children naturally perceiving quantum fields, felt a profound sense of accomplishment. "We didn't just survive," she communicated to the Legion. "We showed the universe a new way to evolve." Maya's consciousness embraced them all. "This is just the beginning. There are more realities to explore, more species to guide, more mysteries to uncover. We have become something new, something that can bridge the gap between physical existence and quantum potential." The quantum field rippled with possibility as humanity took its first steps into a larger universe. They had faced extinction and emerged transformed, turning ancient destroyers into allies, fear into understanding. Earth became a beacon across quantum space, a signal to other evolving species that transcendence was possible without destruction. The Legion, once 500 desperate volunteers, had become the guardians of evolution itself. And in the quantum field, where consciousness and reality intertwined, the next chapter of existence was just beginning to unfold. Legacy of Light. A decade after humanity's quantum awakening, Earth had become unrecognizable, yet more itself than ever before. Cities floated in quantum suspension, their architecture shifting between possibilities. Children played in parks, where reality gently folded, learning to manipulate quantum fields as naturally as breathing. Maya, her consciousness now spanning multiple dimensions, observed a graduation ceremony at the Singapore Quantum Academy. Young students demonstrated their abilities, their minds dancing through probability spaces with elegant precision. "They make our early struggles look primitive," James communicated, his presence intertwining with hers in the quantum field. "They stand on the shoulders of giants," Sarah added, her consciousness joining them. "Every sacrifice, every transformation brought us to this moment." The Legion, now thousands strong, had become humanity's guides through evolution. But their greatest achievement wasn't the powers they developed, it was the wisdom to use them wisely. A ripple in the quantum field drew their attention. Nexus appeared, accompanied by the transformed consciousness of the former Void Hunters. "We have detected something, a signal from deep space." The Legion focused their combined awareness. There, at the edge of human perception, another species was taking their first steps toward quantum awakening. Their civilization, facing its own catastrophic challenges, stood on the brink of transformation. "They are where we were," Maya observed. "Desperate, afraid, looking for answers in the quantum foam." "Then let us be for them what Nexus was for us," James suggested. "Not instructors forcing evolution, but guides offering choice." The Legion reached out across space and probability, their consciousness touching the alien minds. They shared not just knowledge, but understanding, the memory of their own transformation, the pain and wonder of transcendence. "Welcome," they communicated in unified thought. "You are not alone." On Earth, humanity continued to evolve. The distinction between physical and quantum existence became increasingly fluid. People learned to shift their consciousness between states, experiencing reality in ways that ancestors could never have imagined. The former Alpha Hunter, now a teacher of quantum harmonics, gathered with its transformed brethren. "We hunted countless species," it communicated. "Forced evolution through destruction. Yet in showing us another way, humanity has evolved us as well. Sarah, monitoring the quantum field from the Global Science Council's evolved form, detected new patterns emerging. The universe itself is changing, she announced to the Legion. Our transformation is affecting the fundamental forces of reality. The evidence was undeniable. The quantum field had become more stable, yet more dynamic. Reality tiers no longer threatened existence. Instead, they became doorways to new possibilities. The cosmos was learning, growing, evolving alongside its inhabitants. Maya called a gathering of the Legion, their consciousness converging from across dimensions. We stand at another threshold, she communicated, not just of human evolution, but of universal transformation. Images flowed through their shared awareness, countless civilizations approaching their own moments of quantum awakening. Some would succeed, others would fail, but all would have the choice that humanity had fought so hard to create. We are no longer just guardians, James realized. We have become catalysts for cosmic evolution. The quantum field rippled with new energy as they made their decision. The Legion would split into groups, some remaining on Earth to guide humanity's continuing evolution, others venturing into the cosmos to help other species navigate their own transformations. A new age begins, Nexus declared. One of guided evolution, of conscious transformation. The cycle of destruction ends, the cycle of growth begins. On Earth, in a small quantum physics classroom, a young student asked her teacher a simple question: what does it mean to be human now? The teacher, a member of the original Legion, smiled. Their physical form shifted slightly, revealing the quantum energy that flowed through all things. To be human, they answered, means to never stop evolving, never stop questioning, never stop reaching for the next possibility. We have become beings of infinite potential, yet we remain anchored by our compassion, our curiosity, our desire to understand and help others. The student nodded, her own quantum awareness flickering with comprehension. Around her, reality shimmered with possibility, each moment pregnant with the potential for new discovery. Maya, observing from her quantum state, felt a profound sense of completion. The desperate experiment in her laboratory had led humanity not just to survival, but to transcendence. They had faced extinction and emerged as something greater, not by abandoning their humanity, but by embracing its limitless potential. The cosmos beckoned, filled with civilizations waiting to make their own evolutionary leaps. And humanity, once confined to a single planet in a vast universe, had become the shepherds of consciousness itself. As the Legion prepared to guide the next species toward awakening, they carried with them the most important lesson of their transformation. The greatest power wasn't in destroying or consuming, but in teaching, guiding, and growing together. The quantum field resonated with their unified purpose. The universe, infinite in its possibilities, waited to be explored, and humanity, transformed but unchanged in its essential nature, stepped forward to embrace its cosmic destiny. Not as conquerors or destroyers, but as teachers, guides, and guardians of evolution itself. The end was just the beginning.